Oh, hello there. This is Moundmaker, and today I'm back with episode 5 of my Elden Ring Nightreign exploration guide. Today's topic is going to be ruins. And I've been sick with COVID the last 2 weeks. And while I was able to work on this video and the graphics for this episode, I wasn't able to speak, and still barely am. I'm getting through this episode by taking frequent breaks and drinking a lot of hot tea. I'm telling you this because I was out of work during this time, and between sleeping most of the day, I worked on ideas to enrich these guides even more. I worked a lot on my formula that I revealed in the last episode, and I will have some changes to it in the future, but for now, I'm keeping it the same. This is episode 5, and I plan on my final episode to be episode 8. In that episode, I will reveal my final formula and do a final ranking of everything based on that formula. But I'm not just here to edge you on my future content. I'm also here to reveal one new formula I'm adding to my overview for each ruin. That's a very simple XP per HP formula. This formula takes the XP of an enemy and divides it by the HP of that same enemy. What that reveals is enemies who are worth high XP for relatively low HP. This formula doesn't give the whole picture though. The number 1 enemy are the wolves, and the number 2 enemies are the disappearing noble sorcerers. Both of these enemies are great XP for their low HP. However, the wolves can be annoying to engage because they sometimes jump around a lot, and them being small can make them a tracking nightmare for some night fares. As for the noble sorcerers, they are sometimes hard to locate because they are invisible unless you are near them. So as with most formulas, it can also help to apply a little practical logic based on playing experience to each. With that said, my rankings for number 1, 2, and 3 are kind of interchangeable. Unlike great churches, forts, and encampments, I don't have a clear-cut favorite. All 3 of these could basically share number 1. But I'm forcing myself to rank them. So let's start with number 1. And that's going to be the Beastmen ruins. This ruin features 8 1440 XP skeletal enemies, 6 3000 XP Beastmen, 2 7200 Beastmen of Pharaoh Mazula, and they are the bosses. And those 2 bosses are both here. And the total XP is 43,920, and the loot cellar is here. Each ruin has a secret loot area where the ground needs to be broken in order to access it. The main thing that separates the chests in these locations from other areas is the high probability of them dropping a talisman. I ranked this ruin first because there's no enemies here that are hard to kill, and each gives good XP for little effort. The skeletal enemies only have 200 HP, and while they do take an additional swing to destroy their essence once you have depleted their HP, they are still worth killing if you can take them out in 4 seconds or less, which should be doable for most nightfarers. Even if you pass on them, the Beastmen here have 338 HP and give a very high 3000 XP per kill. 5 of them are standing right next to each other outside the boss area, and since they give 3000 XP each, you get 8 seconds to take each one down. And that's very doable as long as you keep the fight in front of you. The 6th Beastman is up the stairs near them, and he'll often join the fight at some point without you having to pursue him. I don't advise you to pursue him if he doesn't join the fight, but he often does. For the 2 bosses, as long as you take them out in 36 seconds or less, you're on pace for the XP goal. They have a modest 913 HP each on day 1, and I was able to clear them in 25 seconds, and that's at level 2 with the starting weapon. So it's very doable. Their ratio is 7.88, which is near the top as far as ruin bosses go. The Albinauric Archer's Ruin is my choice for the number 2 ruin. It features 8 1200 XP wolves, 4 3,600 XP white wolves, 5, 5,760 Albinauric archers, 2, 5,760 XP Albinauric archer bosses. Those 2 bosses are both here. In addition to that, here's the other 5 archers. And the total XP for this rune is 64,320. And the secret area is here. Here's a little nugget of wisdom for your barbecue sauce brains. Outside of the archer bosses riding the white wolves in the boss area, there's no differences in the normal archers and white wolves you can find in this area. The HP and XP from the normal archers and the white wolves is exactly the same as the ones in the boss area. The archers have 603 HP on day 1, and they provide 5,760 XP each, regardless of if they are the bosses or the generics. Same is true for the white wolves. All the white wolves have 791 HP and give 3,600 XP. You should avoid the 2 generic versions of the white wolves if possible. The only ones worth killing are the ones in the boss area, and that's only because you have to kill them in order to collect the reward. To make them worth killing, you need to kill them in 9 seconds or less, which is not easy with their high HP pool and the amount of moving around they do. Thankfully, you need to kill the archers in about 15 seconds or less to make them worth it, and that's very easy to do. So while you'll likely fail to make the time threshold for the white wolves, you'll likely succeed with extra time when taking out the archers. And the fact you can hit both at the same time helps both issues as well. You get around 24 seconds each for clearing each boss, meaning 48 seconds or less total, which is a laughable amount of time to have. Since the other archers are easier to kill and give the same huge amount of XP, I'd advise to take them out as well. The normal wolves have the highest XP to HP ratio of all enemies in the ruins. They have 105 HP and give 1200 XP. Anything over 7 is good, and their ratio comes out to 11.43 XP per HP. The drawback, of course, is that they can sometimes be annoying to track down in track. They also tend to be tucked away in their own areas, so I would only kill the ones that you meet along the way. But killing them in 3 seconds or less should be your goal, and with their low HP pool, that is very doable for all Nightfarers, as long as I can keep them in front of them. Moving on to my pick for the number 3 runes. I'm going with the Depraved Perfumer runes. This location features 13 1200 Vulgar Militiamen, 3 2400 Operatic Bats, 5 1200 XP Man Bats, and 1 6000 XP Depraved Perfumer. And that boss is here. The total XP is 42,600. And the secret location is here. Everything here, except for the Operatic Bats, has a good XP to HP ratio. The Vulgar Militiamen in particular give 1800 XP, and they only have 207 HP. That's good enough to be in the top 10 XP to HP ratios for ruins. They are easy to kill as well. They do poison you, but poison is one of the easier to deal with status effects. As long as you can take them out in 3 seconds or less, you're doing well. They're all in the first section of the map, and they do bring the fight to you as well, which saves time in having to chase them down. There's 13, but I wouldn't worry about tracking each one down. Just fight them as you come across them. As I mainly run ground-based melee characters, I don't like fighting the bats. But if you have a way to deal with them easily, feel free to take out the man bats and skip the operatic ones. The man bats give 1200 XP for 170 HP. You need to be able to take them out in 3 seconds or less to make engaging them worth it from an XP perspective. The operatic bats have double the XP value, but have nearly triple the HP with 504. The Depraved Perfumer boss only has 856 HP, but also only gives 6000 XP. As long as you take it out in 15 seconds, you're good. But you realistically want to take it out faster because after a few seconds, all the bats who are posted up in the boss area start to get involved, and they can kill you if they get a chance to gank you. So try to take the Perfumer out quick, and maybe even use an ultimate if you have one available to take out the bats. Alright, so before we move on to 4 through 11, there's not a lot of difference between the rest, and I would only recommend going to the ruins under certain circumstances, such as you need the elemental weapon that matches their type, or you're swinging by to try to get a good talisman or two, or the circle is closing and you have some time to kill and these ruins are one of the only options nearby. I think 1 through 3 are good choices to do early game and quickly level up before trying to do harder content. The rest, I'm just going to rank based on their boss's XP to HP ratio, to make it simple. That makes number 4, the Sanguine Noble Ruin. This ruin has 3 1620 XP large blistering strays, 2 1200 XP blistering strays, 12 720 XP skeletal slimes, 35 780 XP bloody corpses, 2 4800 XP giant skeletal slimes, and 1 9600 Sanguine Noble Boss. And that boss is here. The total XP for this ruin is 62,400. And the secret location is here. If I were picking number 4 without just taking the easy way of ranking it based off the boss's ratio, I think this would still be number 4. I still think the main thing you want to do here is kill the boss, but even if you just do that, you're going to get extra XP with all the bloody corpses who run up to you and explode on their death. They only give 780 XP, but it's with 0 effort on your part. The one thing to be aware of is that you may want to pass on this area completely if your character is squishy. The enemies aren't difficult, but they are especially fiendish. Their aggression would likely proc bleed on you multiple times in quick succession. The Sanguine boss only has 920 HP, and when you factor in that he provides 9600 XP, you get a 10.44 XP to HP ratio, which is far and away the best for any ruin boss. You want to clear him in 24 seconds or less if possible. It's worth mentioning that the giant skeletal slime only gives 4800 XP and does have 1656 HP, giving them a 2.9 ratio, which is amongst the 10 worst ratios in all ruins. But if you're desperate for loot, they do regularly drop at least 2 level 3 weapons when killed. It's also worth mentioning that there is a room of approximately 20 bloody corpses surrounding a giant skeletal slime. You would need to clear this entire room of all corpses in about 40 seconds to make it worth killing them, which is next to impossible unless you have an ultimate up, and that's only if your ultimate is an AoE attack. So if your ultimate is up and you're feeling like seeing a lot of bodies hit the floor, go off, Cupcake. There's better things you could be doing, but it's fun seeing all that blood sometimes. If your ultimate isn't ready, move it along, as all the enemies here other than the boss have poor ratios. My number 5 pick is the Perfumer Ruins. This ruin has 36 680 XP Miranda Sprouts, 4 4800 XP Miranda Blossoms, 2 2880 XP Pages, 2 4200 XP High Pages, and 1 6000 XP Perfumer Boss. And that boss is here. The total XP is 60,960. And the secret location is here. The Perfumer boss here has 648 HP and gives 6,000 XP. That's a ratio of 9.26. and you get 15 seconds to clear the boss. We all know the real boss here is the High Page though, but sometimes you can get away with just killing the Perfumer and claiming your reward before triple flaming bolts of FU strike you down. That's going to be rare though. Most of the time, you'll have to clear the High Page first, then clear the Perfumer, then claim your rewards. Even combining the Page and Perfumer XP and HP together, you get 10,200 XP and 1,304 HP, which is still a respectable 6.78 ratio. And you get plenty of time to clear both, with 26 seconds being the target. The Blossoms are the second worst enemy when it comes to the day 1 ratios. And on day 2, they get even more HP, which makes them the worst enemy you can waste your time on day 2. But let's go back to day 1 though. You get 4,800 XP, but they have 3,064 HP. That's an abysmal 1.57 ratio. Short story even shorter, don't fight them unless you lost a bet forcing you to do some form of self-humiliation. The number 6 Rune is the Battle Mages. This Rune has 5 1,440 Glintstone Sorcerers, 4 1,800 XP Lazuli Sorcerers, 8 1,440 Marionette Soldiers, 2 2,400 Twin Sage Sorcerers, and 2 6,300 Battle Mage Bosses. Those bosses are here. The total XP is 43,320, and the secret location is here. This one, the bosses have a pretty good ratio, and if they were just one boss or even 2 bosses in the same room, I'd rank it as number 5 instead of 6. But because the 2 bosses are spread out on opposite ends of the structure, I can't put it at number 5. They each do give 6,300 XP, and they only have 926 HP, meaning each are worth 6.8 XP to HP. You should shoot for taking each down in 16 seconds or less, or 32 seconds for both. The only noteworthy generics worth thinking about taking out are the Twin Sage Sorcerers. There's only 2 of them, but they are relatively close together. One is up the stairs right before the second boss room, and the other is right in front of the second boss room. They each give 2,400 XP and have 313 HP, giving them a respectable 7.67 ratio, and you should strive to take them out in 7 seconds or less. None of the other enemies have a good score or a bad score, just middle of the pack generics. The number 7 Rune is the ancient hero Zamor. This one only has 2 types of enemies. It has 19 1,200 XP jellyfish, and 3 ancient heroes of Zamor bosses, which give 7,200 XP. The 3 bosses are here. The total XP is 44,400, and the secret location is here. The ancient hero bosses here have 1,128 HP, and give 7,200 XP, and that's for each. That's a 6.38 ratio, which is just above what I consider to be decent, which is anything above 6. You want to try to take them out in 18 seconds or less. And since there's 3 of them, that gives you 54 seconds or less to take all out. The jellyfish here are only worth killing if you're trying to farm the jellyfish shield. Otherwise, the ratio is 5.38, and they can sometimes be a pain to kill, so that's a pass for me, dog. For number 8, I'm going with the Wormface ruins. This one features 8 3,600 XP lesser Wormfaces, 2 1,620 large strays, and 1 16,200 XP Wormface boss. And that boss is here. The total XP is 48,240, and the secret location is here. Wormface has a ton of HP, 2,507 in total, but his little bait face also give a large amount of XP and 16,200, giving it a 6.46 ratio and giving you 41 seconds to take it out. This is generally going to be doable as long as he doesn't connect a grab attack on you. If he connects with the grab attack, you're going to die and respawn some distance away, completely eliminated any possibility that you get a good ratio. So when fighting Wormface, you want to try to stay behind him as much as possible. This likely means you won't be able to critical him, but that's a price often worth paying to not have to sit through becoming his lunch. The lesser Wormface generics here have a horrible 3.94 ratio, and they should only be killed if you have to. The strays are better, but as I've said many times, dogs and animals that jump around a lot are often poor choices for engagement. If you're competent in your ability to track them, they do have an okay ratio of 6.09 and need to be each taken out in 4 seconds or less. Number 9 is the Albinauric runes. This one features 12 2,160 Albinaurics, 3 4,800 XP Albinauric bosses, and those bosses are here. The total XP is 40,320, and the secret location is here. Now, before I actually did the math on these ruins, I thought this was going to be a top choice. The enemies are relatively condensed into a few enemies, but the problem is they have lowish XP. The 3 bosses each have 903 HP, but only give 4,800 XP each. Let's not forget that the archers have 603 HP, which is 300 less than these guys, but give 5,760 XP, which is 960 more XP. For that reason, I just can't recommend going to this ruin unless you need a holy weapon and want to roll a dice that they drop one for you. If you are going here to battle them, focus on taking them out in 12 seconds each. The second to last ruin, coming in at number 10, we have the Erdtree Burial Watchdogs. This one features 14 2,160 XP imps and 2 7,800 XP Erdtree Burial Watchdogs. Those bosses are here. The total XP is 40,320 and the secret location is here. The bosses here are just a terrible waste of time. 1,662 HP and a lot of resistance for 7,800 XP, which wouldn't be bad if it didn't take so much to kill them. They need to be taken out within 20 seconds each, or 40 seconds total since there's 2, and for most Nightfarers, that would be a tall task, if not outright impossible. There is one saving grace here though, and that's that the imps here have an impressive 9.31 XP to HP ratio. This is due to their low 232 HP and their high 2,160 XP. If taken out in 5 seconds or less, they are worth the hunt. In fact, if I needed the quick XP for some reason, I wouldn't even waste my time killing the bosses here and would just focus on taking out as many of the 14 that are here as I could. They don't make it worth coming here though, but if I ended up here by some lapse of judgment, they are what I'd go after. That leaves the last, and for sure the least, number 11, which is the Rune Bear Ruins. This location features 1 6,600 XP Rune Bear, 10 960 XP Disappearing Noble Sorcerers, and 1 16,200 XP Rune Bear boss. And that boss is here. The total XP is 32,400, and the secret location is here. First, we already talked about the Disappearing Noble Sorcerers here. They are second best in XP to HP ratio, however, because they are not visible unless you close in on them, it's kind of worthless to hunt them. Kill them if you see them for sure, but don't waste your time looking for them. They're 85 HP and 960 XP give a staggering 11.29 ratio, but just consider any that you take out as a bonus. The second rune bear here is not worth killing unless you want the extra reward really bad. The bear features the same health as the boss rune bear, which is 4084 HP, but only gives 6600 XP, which is a ratio of 1.62, which is terrible. The boss version, however, gives 16,200 XP, which is better, but still only a ratio of 3.97. So yeah, just avoid this place, unless you can't for some reason. So there you have it, all 11 ruins, ranked and explained in as much detail as I felt necessary. I'm Moundmaker, and I'll be back next week with episode 6 of this series. Remember, episode 8 is the final episode, so we're closing in on it. And now, I'm off to drink some more tea, and to hope that tomorrow, my voice isn't in complete ruins. Take care.